Hey guys, it's me, Delta One. Hey guys, One here with Airsoft. It's me, Delta One here. Hey guys, Delta Man. Hey guys, it's me, Delta One here with Airsoft Ak. Sorry, it's been a while. Life's been tough. But I just want to give a quick thanks to all the people on Facebook that kept me in their prayers. It's been pretty rough. One with my grandma and just personal issues. So I just want to give a really big thanks to people who did pray and or kept in thoughts. I know all of y'all aren't believers, but that's besides the point. So lots of new stuff coming. Doing a lot of work out in the garage. Getting it to where I can have a chair instead of having to stand up and lean over and like kill my back. So today I thought I'd make a little video on AK-101s. Not the actual AK-101, but just some information about AKs that UM4 people may like to hear, or for just some people that are wanting to learn learn more about AKs. Now you've heard me mention things that you're probably like, I don't know what that means. And this is just to educate you. Now this is my preferred style of AK. Not this in particular model, but there's no battery in here, so, and it's on safe. But I'll take the mag out just to be proper. Now what makes an AK good? Personally, I prefer the VFC style, which doesn't have any screws right here, which I prefer, because I just don't like the TM style. It makes everything a lot harder to work on. Because wiring is always a big issue with me. I like good wiring, thick wiring, because it keeps the gun cool, and using the proper gauge wiring makes the gun work better in the long run. Sorry if I'm real quiet. It's about 12 o'clock. Everyone's asleep. So, anyways, the heart and soul to an AK is how well it's put together, in my opinion. Now, you see these little circle things, you never think too much of them. When in fact, they're some of the most important, let's say one of the most important things about your AK. Now the rivets here keep the gun put together. If the rivets aren't that great, your gun's going to wobble. And no one wants wobbly. No one wants a wobbly gun. So, one of the key things you want to look for is you want to see how good the rivets are. If you have an AK and you can't wobble it side to side, see how that's moving the whole gun? There's no wobble in it. That's because the rivets were done right. Now this is a JG. JG is really, realistically kind of new to making the AK market to me, because they just differed away from the TM design. They're still making their TM design AKs, but they're putting more production into these babies. And to be honest, I'm very impressed. I would say they're better than SEMA just because of the fact that CYMA's rivets are horrible. They're very loose, very wobbly. I'm very disappointed in CYMA. Now if you can get besides the fact, or get a good one, you're in business. Now the rivets hold what we call the truncheon in place, which is holding the front end of the gun mounted to the receiver. Now, that's what you want to look for. You want to make sure these things are tight. Now this is a VFC design, and this is what they use to keep the front end from wobbling most of the time. They have a little Allen key screw that's in place under this sight, which you can tighten, but that always won't tighten it up and make it not wobble. So, but this is a very affordable gun, and it has a full steel body. Now keep in mind, the more steel components you have on your AK, the better off you are in the long run. And I personally like steel weapons anyways. I'd rather carry a couple extra pounds knowing I can throw my AK off a cliff than something that's, fragile. So, now, this AK in particular has got, I don't know what the proper technical name is, but they've pinned these things in place. Now there's also what appears to be an Allen's key that keeps this in place, which is fine by me, because you can always tighten that up or JB weld it in place permanently. Which is that's kind of not what you want to do, but if you know you're not going to change anything forever, it's a good thing to do. Now, the side folders, they have a different set of rivets. I believe they're called long rivets. I'm looking into buying a riveting tool for some AKs because I'm sick and tired of finding AKs that I want and I can't have them because I know that the rivets are just so poor quality. Now that rivet tool is probably going to set me back almost $200, but unfortunately YouTube has cut my checks by almost 80%, for I have no reason why. I pray to God it's for taxes. But, you know, it is what it is. I haven't made videos like this before in a while, and they've never cut my check. So, let's just pray that it'll keep afloat and I can keep doing what I'm doing. Keep in mind, guys, I don't really buy a lot of guns. I get a lot of what I do through trading, personal work, and friends, and sponsorships. So, and some of these guns on my wall, they're not even mine. My friends are just in the military, and they can't take them with them. So moving on, this is an AK-74. Now on the real ones, if you get a properly made one, there'll be a little metal plate right here, which is not here. Now what this is to keep in place is to prevent this from breaking. But I don't think we'll see one on an airsoft gun, or at least from JG at this point. We'll probably see something like this from someone like VFC or Real Sword. But Real Sword only makes Chinese AKs, which is fine by me. You know, great externals, not a fan of the internals. So, now, here's an example of what can go wrong when you don't have a good riveting system. This is a VFC. This thing is ancient. This thing is way before this thing is probably close to 7 years old, by my guess, because they haven't made these things in forever. Keep in mind, these are kind of more of a collector's piece than they are you using them. To me, that's what it is. But I will be using this. As soon as I get my dual sector gears, I will be putting this in here, and you will be seeing me go to a field. And I'll probably put a camera mount like right here, because I'll probably buy a rail system just for that, because hearing that will be crazy. But if you look closely, that's bad riveting. Unfortunately, I don't think that that's the riveting on this gun, because when I move it, I think it's something to do with how the barrel was put in. I do believe this one's fixable, but I'm not going to just toss this aside. I can deal with some wobble. As you can see, someone kept this sling way too tight before I bought it. But keep in mind, I only paid $200 for this, so I'm happy with it. Now, this is a proper made AK in my opinion. This is, you know, this is VFC at its best, because I mean, 6 years old, this thing's still cranking. I mean, not just internally, but just the fact that the body held up that well. Because the person that had it before me used and abused it. So, I mean, this is a battle-proven system and a design that VFC's made for Airsoft. And I like that. So, that's just me. But a really bad example, I'll grab it off the wall for you guys, is this gun. I wouldn't even tell people to use it just because of how bad the rivets were on this thing. When I received it, the rivets weren't even there. As you can see, there's one little black Allen screw. We had to put that into place, and I believe the person before me tapped it in. The stock wobbled, and this is a CYMA gun, and if you can tell, it's still bad, and I even had this thing metal work done to it, which is kind of disappointing. The work that the guy did on it was great, and I can still even, this rivet right here is still even loose, which is very disappointing for a gun that's got probably a $400 gearbox investment into it along with the barrel assembly. I still have wobble. You can even tell, if you look real closely, oh no, he fixed the up and down wobble. But I've got a stock one of these out in the garage, and it goes up and down. It's kind of disappointing for something that's a long gun. I really wish they would have done a better job. But, you know, it is what it is. Now this personally is a beautiful AK to me, because I like the worn down look. Now, to show you the best riveting that I possibly can, I will show you my real Romanian AES 10B RPK. Now, just for all you people who are, you know, oh, you need to make sure it's safe. There's nothing in it. Now, this is a true, real steel AK. I've fired probably close to 700 rounds out of it. Works like a champ. Now, if you look at the rivets, they're flawless. This is a proper riveting job. Now, this is on a real steel AK. You can't half-ass this, because if you half-ass it, you can have some catastrophic failures. It can even lead to the gun blowing up in your face, which is really bad. And someone's vibrating my phone from Facebook. So, you should check out my Facebook, by the way. Now, the truncheon assembly, guys, remember, is here. Rivets are important. And that's kind of what I really wanted to touch up on, is the rivets. Because a lot of people don't know, when you're looking to buy an AK, the first thing you want to check is the rivets. From my experiences, CY rivets have come loose. They haven't even, sometimes they haven't even come in the gun. They've come out of the gun on arrival. So I'm not a big fan. If you're worried about the gun wobble, just break down, buy a TM. But do take a note, you're going to have a little more complications putting wiring into it. There's nowhere near as much room, which can be an issue. So, another company that's good on the rivets is LCT. I've never owned an LCT, but I've seen and heard fabulous things about them, which is a gay word for me. Fabulous. But, don't mean anything towards gay people. Just saying fabulous is kind of a weird word for gun people to say. I don't know. It's really late. It's like 12 o'clock here. But LCT is really good. VFC is probably the best. I want to say the Type 56s, I think those are milled receivers. I haven't held a real sword in a long time. So those are fine. But experience internal problems is in terms of compatibility, which is kind of lame. But those aren't so good. D-Boys is great. I've had some good experiences with D-Boys. Make sure that the WS models, which are the full steel models. The non-full steel models, I've had a few problems with in terms of wobbly receivers. Normally in the polymer department, at the front end, if they have polymer handguards, I've had the tendency to have them be really wobbly as well. So keep in mind the D-Boys RKO6WS, RKO3WS, and RKO1WS. Those are okay. So, I hope this video has taught you something. When I make videos, if someone learned something new, and they learned something from me, I'm a happy camper. Guys, I really appreciate you being patient with me posting videos, and I really appreciate the views. Every view counts, and it puts more money in my wallet so I can keep living and making airsoft videos. So I really do appreciate y'all's patience, and I hope that you've learned something from this video. And guys, keep in mind, life is always good. Make the best of it. So, guys, I'll see you in the next video.